Thank you, Kathleen, for that introduction. And it's an honor to have been invited to speak here at Bonfire Heights. In the short time that I'm on this stage, it's my intention to share with you my journey creating the website The Whip. And hopefully, if you're not already a believer in the power of women, I hope that I can convince you of the untapped power of women to create a natural resource that, if better understood and embraced, can and will move us forward globally. When I began to develop the WIP, which stands for the Women's International Perspective, I did not hold the vision that I'll share with you today. I had just recently served as an intern for the publication The Huffington Post, and at the time I was merely disappointed in the low representation of men in this new medium that we know of as the blogosphere. And then one day, while I was traveling to visit a colleague in Spain, I came across the billboard made by the humanitarian organization CARE that reads, "Women are the greatest underutilized natural resource in the world." In an instant, my vision changed from an act of justice to a movement for change. I realized exactly what it is that the absence of women creates. It means that our unique voices, our perspectives, our ideas, and our solutions are missing in the face of the great economic and environmental challenges that we face. Now, I'm aware that there have been articles, television programs, books, even TED Talks on the issue of the underrepresentation of women. And I'm aware that the reality paints a grim portrait of the uphill battle that we face. Statistics in this country, such as the fact that women are half the US population, yet we still only occupy between 16 and 20% of all the leadership positions across all sectors of society. Or when you look at it from a global perspective and you realize that being born a woman is really dangerous for your health. In places like India and China, the battle begins before birth, where there is such a preference for male children that women are missing in the thousands, women and girl babies, and there's an unbalanced sex ratio throughout the country. HIV/AIDS is fastest spreading through adolescent girls and young women populations, and nearly 500,000 women die each year from preventable childbirth-related injuries and illnesses. And then, of course, there's the statistic that I'm sure you've all heard from the U.S. Commission on the Status of Women, that at least 1 in 3 women will be the victim of sexual violence or be battered in her lifetime. Yet, with all the press, rarely has anyone been able to pinpoint exactly what parity in these areas will bring. Instead, research mostly highlights the disparity and addresses the issue as one of inequality. Unfortunately, when the issue is looked at from this perspective, it's marginalized. The issue is interpreted as a woman's issue, and change is perceived as a victory that will benefit only women. What we do at the WIP and how I perceive this issue is markedly different. At the WIP, change in this area is perceived as a societal victory, a victory that will benefit all of humanity. What is missing from the discussions of the underrepresentation of women is precisely the changes that will result in society when parity is reached. Today in my talk, I'll introduce you to several of the women that I have met on my journey creating the WIP. Women whose visions will hopefully demonstrate the how and the why women can make the needed difference. Each vision I will introduce to you today form a tile in the larger tapestry of an equitable and peaceful tomorrow. They represent only a handful of the women I've met on this journey, but each of them has taught me how it is that women can and will move humanity forward. Their work touches on the key areas of women in the economy, women in peacemaking, women in leadership, and women in social justice. I'll begin with Anne Firth Murray and talk a little bit about women in social justice. Late in 2009, I met Anne Firth Murray. I was struggling fundraising for the WIP at the time, something I still struggle with today, and I was thrilled to by chance meet the founder of the Global Fund for Women. The Global Fund for Women is a worldwide network funding women around the globe, and they've raised millions of dollars and given it away to thousands of women's organizations. I read Anne's book after meeting her. I wrote a couple of articles, and I invited her to come speak at our International Women's Day event in Monterey. In reading her work and talking with her, the correlation between improving the situation of women and addressing many of the world's problems became very, very clear. I found in Anne's work that the issues that we are all concerned about, everyone here at this conference, issues such as poverty, education, climate change, terrorism, these issues can be improved, if not resolved, if we just tackle the injustices facing women around the world. What the Global Fund for Women does is they seed, strengthen, and link groups that are concerned about women's well-being. No matter how poor or neglected, Anne believes that the true experts are the women an organization wishes to serve, and the best way to leverage help to these organizations is to put money and resources directly into the women on the ground. And as you can see from the work that the Global Fund for Women has done, this strategy has been transformative. Since inception, the Global Fund for Women has made thousands of grants totaling nearly $99 million to over 4,500 organizations in 172 countries. This money's been made available to women based on the way in which they define the change must be. And what's exciting to discover is their definitions are unique and they differ from the status quo. They're creating organizations and systems that are characterized by compassion, by diversity, generosity, inclusiveness, and respect. What Anne has taught me is that if we are interested in transforming our societies, improving the health and well-being of women is the most effective way to leverage that change. Before I end my talk, I'll leave you with a quote that has inspired me to keep going when there's been no money, no time, or in the worst case scenario, no passion for this work. Never forget who you are working for. Thank you.